Hi, Christy Karate with Christy's Clarity. And today we're going to talk about the magic formula. Remember that this is the end. This is our last session together with the in the month of love. And what the magic formula is how to navigate when you have challenges in relationships. Now that's whether you have it in personal relationships or in friendships or with coworkers. And it's specifically designed for when you all of a sudden find yourself in an argument and you don't know why. Like, I thought things were going along well, and it doesn't make sense with what the argument is in the current moment. Well, I can almost guarantee you it is not about the current argument. It's really something else. And this is what Gay Hendricks calls the upper limits problem. You see, in your subconscious runs you even more. It's like the iceberg effect, right? Here you think that the top of the iceberg is your and it is your conscious thought, and you think it's running you, but there is so much more down there in the iceberg that is actually running you, and you don't even realize it. And so this is what Gay Hendricks calls the upper limits problem. It's when you get to the upper limits of your conscious opening, of what you've brought to the top and to the awareness. And so things will, in your world, will cause you to kind of sabotage them. It's almost like there's a governor, like they used to have on trucks. It's almost like there's a governor that won't let you go above that upper ceiling, right? And so you get to, when you move into conscious work, you get to choose what is running you. And it takes a practice, and it was really fun. I was on a call yesterday, and I talked about it like mental calisthenics. You have to actually practice just like you practice a marathon for building your ability to pause in the moment and think about where your thoughts are coming from, what your thoughts are. And so this is what happens when you're in an argument. It's because there's something that's pushed you up against that upper limits, and it's a past belief that you don't even know is running you. Here's an example of that. So in the summer of 2019, I took a group to Scotland. We had a lovely time. And then I went off for a little R&R over to Iceland with my sister and my nephew and a friend. And there was one day that we were in, that I was kind of self-judging myself back in the background, like, oh, did I do everything right? Have I, and that chatter that goes on. But then it was time to go to lunch with my sister. And so we went down and we were walking down the cobblestones to the cute little area where they had lunch and things like that. And correct, I wasn't paying attention, and what was running me back there was something else. Well, as we're walking down the cobblestone, there was the divot there for the wheelchairs to go down, but it's all gray, so it all looked kind of the same. And but I was kind of in this other thought place, and as I stepped, when you step down something that's not there, how you kind of go down like that, and I did that, and then I started flying forward, and I hit my knee on the upward side of the ramp, and really I actually ended up getting a hematoma or something like that. Anyway, it was really intense, and I thought, oh, I just walked all over Scotland, and I've been going. We went to a concert in Scotland, and then we came to Iceland, and we went to the, it was like, life is really good. What is this about? Because believe me, our actions, even, if I wasn't paying attention, that still wouldn't have happened if I wasn't deep in my self-criticism of myself. And so I had to stop and realize that I had been kind of dissing myself for, although I had done a wonderful job of leading this group of people through Scotland. It was a very spiritual experience. Oh my gosh, we had such a great time. And I was also at the time thinking about an Italy trip that I was going to do next. Well, guess what? It's been 3 years now, and I'm finally going in April. So it's called La Dolce Vita. If you're interested, let me know. I have 4 spots available, but that's not what this is about. So I'm just so excited because, yay, I'm finally getting to go on that trip and take my peeps there. So, what you want to do when you're in a challenge like that is you want to ask yourself, oh, what was my thought right before I took that fall? And then you can look at that, and if you're in a relationship where you can be straightforward, you should only be in relationships where you can be straightforward, right? You can say, you know what, I really apologize that I got into this argument with you, and it doesn't matter if they started it or not. They're just an out picturing of you, what your vibrational frequency is, right? And you can say, this is really about, I'm having doubts about XYZ, or I'm feeling bad about myself, XYZ. And so, or I don't believe, there's a part of me doesn't believe I can have a good relationship, so I've hit my upper ceiling. So what you want to do is you want to learn to pause. Now, this is one of those calisthenics that you need to do, is to pause and notice what your thinking is. Now, this isn't just when you're having negative thinking. How you build the calisthenics is to get in a routine of of testing the of testing of testing the I just lost my thought. I got a little distracted. Okay. So, the calisthenics, right? So what you want to do is you want to stop at consistent but random times. What I mean is, like, not like when you're feeling bad. So what I really encourage you to do to start exercising those calisthenics to get yourself to start pausing and being able to think is to put a alarm in your phone that comes on like several times a day, that says, and on a daily basis, that says pause, and give it a real strong ringtone. And what I want you to do when you pause is I want you to think about what your thought is. And you may be sitting there doing your work, and you go, oh, I'm doing my work right now. I was really into this, and I was thinking how this works with this, and da da da. Or you may be, I found myself doing this yesterday, you may be driving along and all of a sudden find yourself in someplace you didn't intend to go to, right? It was only 1 block out of the way, but I was totally in another thought, right? So we want to practice the pause. What am I thinking? Pause. What am I thinking? We're not about changing the thinking right now. We're about building the muscle of getting used to the pause and what I'm thinking. And then you can bring that into a time when you have a argument or a situation where you think, how did I get here? Just like it did when I was a block away. Went, whoa, where am I? I had to really, sit around and go, where am I? I mean, I was safe driving because I, stopped at the stop sign and all this stuff. But I had to look around and go, oh, where am I and where am I going? That's what the pause is for. Okay. And so in an argument, this is the magic formula. Build your muscle to the pause and what am I thinking, so that when you come into this relationship argument, you can say, pause. What was I thinking just before this? I had a client that had a bad accident, and she was talking to me about this, and it was very she injured somebody else, and I mean, think about that. That's just so horrible, right? And yet she had to deal with this with insurance and all kinds of things. And so she says, I don't know why it happened. And I said, what was your thought right before this? Oh, I was self-judging myself. Boom. right? And so this also helps us to get our thoughts into control so that we don't have those erroneous thoughts that tend to cause us to have accidents like stepping off the curb or rear-ending somebody, which is something that we don't want to do. So thank you for joining me today at Christy's Clarity. Program your phone with an alarm. Pause. What am I thinking? And check that out and see how that works. And next Friday, when you come back to Christy's Clarity at 10:10 on Fridays Pacific time, we can think about that. How did that work for you? Okay, everybody, love being here with you. I trust that you will find great value in these tools that I share with you. Okay, take care.